morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ask YP Now live show. Now, this is a show focused on positive living, living with passion, having work life balance, and making the world a better place. And this evening, we got a special guest with us. We got Cam that comes all the way from Nigeria. And I think you're based in Lagos, isn't it? Did I pronounce that right? Cam,
Thank you
did I
so
pronounce that
much,
right?
YP. Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. So can you just share with us, tell us a bit more about yourself, right? Where you're born, where do you stay, what business do you run? Yeah. Cam, go ahead.
Thank you so much, YP. My name is Nkem Pama. Um, I'm originally from Nigeria. Got migrated to England and then nationalized as well. But I'm a business coach. I also advise on leadership and strategy. So my life actually revolves around business growth and everything that supports business owners and business leaders to achieve greatness, increase profitability over time. A little of my background, I had a career. I started my career in banking. I spent about 18 years in banking, yes. But it was all within finance. And then that got me exposed to looking at the accounts and seeing what entrepreneurs are doing and how to support them over time, So that's actually what brought me here. I am presently in Lagos, Nigeria. I shuttle between Nigeria and Cambridge, where my family lives.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. So there's kind of a long commute, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember about 2 weeks ago, you were missing for a while. Okay, you were missing in a while. I couldn't get hold of you. And then about 2 weeks ago, you shared with me, YP, I'm back, and you shared with me some shocking news. Okay, right. I could feel the cold shivers running down me when you shared with me what happened to you. Can you share the story with our audience? What happened to you? Okay.
Well, YP, it started on the 6th of February. It all happened on the 6th of February, to be honest. I was traveling back because during December my wife came down to Nigeria. So in December we traveled to the village to spend our Christmas vacation with family members and all of those. So on the 6th of February we were heading back to Lagos. Actually, I came from the tribe in Nigeria that is called Igbo. So we are from the southeastern part of this country, Nigeria. So as I was coming, I think you probably have read about insecurity here and there in that part of in Nigeria. So as we were coming back, we got to a town after my state in Imo State. We got to a town where that is called Olu. It was about 7:45 in the morning.
Okay.
We were heading to. I was the one driving. My wife was in the car. My sister was in the car, and my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, was in the car as well. So it was myself and 3 women. So these guys came on the road with their guns and machete and then stopped us. I actually stopped, and they pointed, the one in front pointed his gun directly at me, right in front of, piercing through the windscreen. He didn't shoot, but he was just there, staying looking. And then the other guy by my side said, wind down, wind down. And then I wound down the glass. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know who they were. So I wound down and he said, wind down, wind everything down, So I wound down, I got to the half. He said, wind down, are you stubborn? Wind down. I said, wind down. So I wound down everything, the glass. And then the conversation started. They were like, where are you going? Who are you? And, too many questions at the time that there was no breathing space to answer any one of them. So when I noticed, I realized that they were actually serious in what the assignment was, which I didn't know, maybe to kill, or I didn't know. Initially, I thought they were policemen, but the way they dressed, they were not policemen. They
Mm.
dressed in a way that, so they were not policemen, they were not soldiers, you know. And my thought was, could this be a faction of the IPOB? And it wasn't. I couldn't make it out, you know.
Mm.
So at that point, I had to really caution myself to be careful with them. So I was ready to comply. I was ready to do whatever they were asking for that was necessary. And then they
Mm.
started asking, "Where are you going?" And I said, we're going to Lagos. The other one was asking, "This is how you people disguise? This is how you people disguise? We're going to kill you here now." And
Wow.
yeah, and I said to him, "Why would you kill me?" You know, I lowered my tone and looked to his face, to his eyes, and I said, "Why would you kill me?" Then I changed, and when I realized that they were Igbo people like me, I started speaking my native dialect to them, and I was asking him, "We're the same people. Why would you kill your brother?" You know,
Mm.
he said to me, "We're not the same. That's the way you people disguise. Do you know how many of my boys they killed last week? Do you know how many of my boys they killed last week?" And so I was trying to make out what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were attacked, maybe, you know, another group or something, or government, or, you know, so I couldn't really make out. So when I noticed anger, bitterness in them, and the spirit of retaliation. They wanted to, you know, um,
Revenge, is it? Yeah.
revenge. That's the word. Thank you so much. You know, they wanted to revenge because it was busy asking me, "Do you know how many of my boys they killed last week?" And there were like
Mm.
15 of them, you know.
Mm.
So I told him, I don't know, I wouldn't know. But you see, we're innocent people.
Mm.
And he said, "Come out." So I stepped out, stood by right in front of him, and then I noticed my wife was screaming at the other end because she opened the car on the right, from the right, you know, the passenger side, and then stepped down, probably going to pacify one of the guys, the guy that was pointing in front. What happened was that the guy hit her chest with his headbutt,
Mm.
and then um, she got some bruises on the chest, and then she was screaming. And at that point, I knew that, you know, something was about to happen. They were deadly. They were on deadly assignment, and so I managed to control myself because at the initial time when I had her scream, I wanted to run because she screamed and started stepping backward and backward and backward to where people were, because it was just, I can say, a town square, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
people were buying things they were selling in the morning, bread, they were selling bread, they were making other things, brisk business in the morning.
So there were people. There were people around in the
Oh yes,
surrounding. Oh,
like a
okay.
pole, half a pole
Mm.
from where this was happening. They were looking at us,
Mm.
you know. But the thing is, maybe they are from their community, they wouldn't do anything anyway. So my wife
Mm.
was walking that back to us. So the way she was moving, I wanted to run to, you know, bring her back. But again, thank God I didn't, because they probably would think I was trying to escape and maybe at that point shoot, but
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. So I let my wife go where she was going at that point. And then the conversation again started. "You are very stubborn. We'll kill you here. We'll shoot you," and all that. And "Where are you going? What's your name? Who are you?" And all that. Too many questions
Wow.
until one of them removed, not these glasses, one of them removed the glass and put it somewhere here. And the thing was about falling. So I raised my hand and held it and put it here. And that was the most I could remember before they started beating me.
Mm.
So they started hitting me right, left, and center. They had their turns. They beat me,
Wow.
you know, pulled me until I fell down flat on my back, facing up. They were smashing my chest, my tummy. There was nothing they did not do. They really, really, really had a turn
What
on
do
me.
you? Yeah.
Yes. But again, as they were hitting me, one was shooting in the air and all of those scenarios. My sister was right behind me. I couldn't find my wife. My sister, sorry, my sister-in-law probably ran after her sister, So, and they warned my sister not to say a word. So she was just standing, according to her. She didn't say a word. So at the end of when they ceased, when the beating stopped, I looked up, and right in front of me was their team leader,
Mm.
and he was looking at me. And so when I
Mm.
opened my eyes and looked at him, I said, "Why are you treating me like this?"
Mm.
I looked straight to his eyes. No glasses now because they've thrown it away, squeezed it, got it
Mm.
broken. So I said to him, "Why are you treating?" I was still on the floor. So I said, "Why are you
Mm.
treating me like this?" He didn't say a word. And I noticed his emotion changed. I saw as if he felt remorse on what they've done. So I started getting up, from the ground. I started getting up gradually, and I stood up. And face to face we were. And I said, "Why are you beating me? I don't deserve this. I haven't done anything. I'm a citizen and I'm just passing by." He said, "Can you identify yourself?" I said, "What do you need for identification or identity?" "My driving license." He said, "Bring everything." So I gave him my wallet. He checked and checked, handed everything back to me. He saw my bank card and said, "I don't need your money, return my bank card." So after a while, about the whole scene took like 1 hour 15 minutes, from
Wow, that's a
beginning.
long time. Wow.
Yes, and then he said I should leave. So I told him I can't leave because you have my car key, because they had already collected my car key. He now commanded. He said, "Who has his car key?" So somebody started running from one of his boys and handed me my car key. And while we were talking anyway, before the car key thing, two boys ran to him and said like this, "Master, master, give us permission." No, no, he didn't call it permission. "Give us order. Give us order to kill this guy. He's very stubborn. Give us order." They had their guns. And
Mm.
but thank goodness he didn't say a word to them. Not sure if he looked at them at all. Yeah. And then it was after those guys demonstrated and asked for order and all that, he now asked for my car key and then he handed it over to me. But he warned. He said, "Don't go this way. If you go this way, I give you 5 minutes, they will kill you." He said, "Because the group in front will not do what we have done with you. They will kill you." So we had to turn and went back to, started looking for other routes to connect to where we were going. And that was how we escaped, and came back. And, at my age, when 15 people beat you, I got, I got home and I felt sick, felt very, very ill, and
Yeah,
I
I
went
can
to medication.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still on my medication now, though, but I'm a lot better.
Okay. I mean, the trauma would have been, I can't imagine,
Yeah,
the trauma that you just went through. Oh, gee.
yeah.
Okay.
But we traveled on on Sunday morning. So when we came back, got home, about 6:30 p.m. We got home here. We got to Lagos. So we went to bed. By about 3 a.m., I woke up to ease myself, went trying to go to the toilet. I noticed that I was feeling dizzy, I was falling. So I had to hold the window right in front of me. And I was suspecting, I had forgotten what happened. I was asking myself, where is this dizziness from? They said it's lack of blood. I mean, I shouldn't be
Mm.
lacking blood, So I was asking myself until I now realized what happened. I gradually sat down. And so that time I was having that problem. I wasn't turning at all. If if I want to bend my head, the environment, the bed, everything will be spinning,
Mm.
until I went to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Gee. As you share the story, I could, you got a very vivid way of sharing the story. I could, imagine every single step that went through you. And what really amazed me is your ability to stay calm. From the way you shared, if you had lost your cool, if you have not held everything together, up here, you could have lost it all, you know.
Absolutely. YP, that actually helped me because over time I've developed this uh, ability to manage myself, call it emotional intelligence or whatever, in the face of difficult times. So
Mm,
that wasn't a problem for me because it began when they started hitting me. When I had the
mm,
first slap, I had the second, I had the third, and I knew something was going to happen. So I kind of blanked out. So I knew some things were hitting. They were hitting me with some objects, and I shut my eyes. Um, but the effects were coming. Just that I didn't feel like somebody I wasn't screaming, I wasn't, so
mm.
yeah,
So if I were to ask you,
yeah.
I'm not sure whether you could, put a finger on it, but if I were to ask you, what's that one leadership or one training or one skill that you have or you've learned that you think helped you the most to stay calm in such a crisis?
Hmm. Well, what there's something we call leadership presence or
Okay.
presence, being present. So being here and being present. Um, when that happened, I can recall vividly everything that happened. So I was calm.
Mm,
I was very calm. I wasn't panicking at all.
mm,
If that is a leadership quality, yes, I demonstrated that. And talking about leading in crisis or leading in times of crisis, I think it's important for leaders to be calm in the face of crisis. Now, being calm means trying to understand the environment, your own
mhm,
environment, and the other individual's environment.
mhm,
Being able to listen, to understand what they're saying, so you'll be able to respond to them without making mistakes or saying things that could aggravate the issue, right?
mm,
So, in terms
mm,
of being calm, yes, I was calm. I managed to understand what they were saying. Hence, I was able to start asking him why I deserve all those, you know.
mm. So
Um,
was your conversations with them all along in your native language?
no, no. It looks to me as if the guy was educated. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even speaking. There is something we call um, it pidgin English here. So
Okay.
it's a combination of local dialect and English, right? He
Okay.
wasn't. He was majority of his boys were speaking that, but he was
Mm,
speaking pure English,
okay.
real English. Yes. So he was
Mm,
refined in terms of. I think he was educated.
mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, it
Mm,
wasn't all in my dialect. But again, when I want to attract emotion, I'll start speaking to him in my language.
mm. And
Yeah.
that builds the rapport and the empathy, isn't it? How can you? I mean, it was amazing, that instead of responding in total fear or total anger, these would be the two extremes most people fall into. You were able to ask them questions: is what did I do to deserve this? So you're eliciting an emotional response of them of remorse. That was really very sharp thinking.
Thank you so much, White. You know that if I recall my trainings around emotional intelligence, there are four skills. The
Okay,
first,
what are
the
they?
first, yeah, the first is self-awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, self-awareness followed by self-management,
Mm-hmm.
and then the third one is social awareness, and the fourth and the last one is relationship management. Now,
Okay.
if I take a bit of time to explain this, I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so self-awareness requires you to understand the situation you're in. So
Mm-hmm.
when I noticed they were all armed with guns, I didn't freak out because every policeman on the checkpoints on the road, they're all armed with their guns. So that didn't make any difference to me. But
Mm.
it was when the language changed, when I saw their body languages, that I realized that no, these people are on a different mission.
Mm.
So I was aware how my perception of them, what my perception of them was, and that actually helped me to comport myself, to pay attention to what they were saying. Now, self-management, okay, that was self-awareness. Now, self-management was in the issue of the way that I received the messages, their communication, because I was able to listen to them and not say a word to interrupt them. I respected them. I was polite to them. I didn't shout
Mm.
at them, right? So all of these were my own way of managing myself so I don't get into more trouble or put my passengers into more trouble. Now, social awareness is the opposite. It requires me to also understand what they're doing, where they're coming from. So when I asked why he was treating me like that, the first statement he made to me was, "Do you know how many of my boys they killed last week? Do you know how many of my boys?" He was that aggressive.
Mm.
And so till today, I still think that they were on a revenge mission, right?
Mm.
They were feeling haughty because maybe whoever, I don't know, the authority that killed them or killed their people. So I also had empathy on them. I felt for the guy because for him to mobilize 14 men and arm them, they may have gone through training. They must have gone through a lot to be able to
Mm.
get to that point, right? So I
Mm.
tried to imagine what they were in. I tried to have their own perspective as well to help me. But again, all of those helped me in the fourth part, which is relationship management. Because if I hadn't comported myself, if I hadn't listened to him and pay attention to what he was saying, I wouldn't actually be able to know how to negotiate with
Mm.
him, you know. So I think emotional intelligence was a key skill that came to play
Mm.
throughout that incident.
Obviously. Yeah. And can I just ask, how long ago you learned these emotional skills?
I think I started the first time I heard about emotional intelligence was I think in 2013, and
Okay.
I took a course on that, and I I went through this guy's book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is a powerful book on
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence. I'm not sure why. Oh, okay, that's it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So having gone through that, I started learning how to, because the book I read, I studied with and took some online training and tests on them over a period of time to see how I stacked on each of those skills helped me a lot, you know.
So for those listeners who are listening in, so this is definitely one book, okay, that you want to get hold, it could, literally save your life, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And Cam, can
Absolutely.
you tell us who is the name of the author?
The author, there are two authors here, Travis Bradbury and Jean Greaves. These are the two
Okay.
authors.
I
Travis,
wouldn't
yes.
I wouldn't want to try to pronounce their names, but yeah, I'm sure you can go to Amazon or any of the bookstore, and I've seen this book in the bookstore. So yep, and I have a
Great
copy
book
of
indeed.
Emotional Intelligence, but not the latest version. It's the older
Not
version.
this one. This
Yes,
is 2.0.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It looks like this is going to be another book to add to my library.
It's so
Yeah,
nice and so it's so
yeah.
easy to read.
Okay.
Mm, mm.
Wow. So this is how many, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening into this, whether you're listening into this live or you'll be listening to this on the recording, please, this is a very emotional, uh, powerful sharing by Cam. This is I don't think, many of us, if any of us have gone through such a, um, such a trauma and experience that we are just seconds away from losing it all meaning losing our life. I'm still sweating and sweating, what do you call that, cold sweat, listening to your story.
Coach Greg,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gee, I think after this I really need another strong cup of coffee to calm my emotions down. I just it's drawn
Open
into the
up, man.
emotion. Yeah, and so I'm going to ask you one more, two more questions actually. Uh, so through this experience, okay, how has this experience made you to become a stronger leader?
Um, yeah. You know, leadership is a game of risk. You envisage, you have a vision of where you're going, you don't know what you're going to meet there, right? So you take the risk anyway to tread the path as far as you believe that the vision, the image you have in the future is clear. Now,
Okay.
what is coming to my mind right now as you ask this question was the fact that we left home, you know, having prayed as Christians and having prayed in the morning. That's traditional for us because of our faith and belief. And we thought it was going to be smooth and easy as before, but we ran into a challenge. We didn't plan it. We didn't plan for the challenge. We didn't know about it. Nobody told us that it was going to happen, but we ran into it. So in leadership, things like that do happen. But the strength comes when you are convinced, when you have a firm belief in your mind that you can resolve it, you can overcome that challenge. And
Hmm.
YP, that's what happens in business. I specialize in business growth and leadership and strategy, right? And a lot of the times, many of the times, the business people are not doing well. Small business owners, entrepreneurs aren't doing well. It's because they have hit one obstacle, one obstruction, or one challenge in the way, and they try to resolve it with the wrong strategy, and they couldn't make a headway, and they give up after feeling
Hmm.
so much frustration and stress. And so, yes, there are solutions to every challenge, but it's important that you apply the right skill, the right skill or skill set and strategy in this case to
Hmm.
be able to overcome it.
True. And as a leader, especially a business leader, we need to have a lot of skills, isn't it? Like you need to have a tool belt, and you need to have many tools in a tool belt, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I could
Absolutely.
see that in your situation, you were thinking, what was the best tool I can use for the current situation? And as the saying go, if the only tool you have is a hammer, you'll be bashing at everything, you know. And in this situation, a hammer will probably get you killed.
Absolutely. They had the hammer, so I saw it and I didn't want to pull out mine.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah. Gee, okay, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening in, whether live or on the recording, if you got any comments, you got any questions, this is your time. We are coming up to 30 minutes into the live session. If you've got any questions, comments, can you just type it into the chat, and we will answer them, and I'll get Cam to answer them. Okay. So while waiting for the comments or to come in, Cam, the last question is, it could be a tip, it could be a life tip, it could be a business tip, what tip or what advice would you have for our listeners out there?
well, thank you. So the thing is that we are in a very precarious times, and this is not being negative. We are in what they call VUCA, business or world or environment. What that means is that a lot of things we are experiencing volatility, we're experiencing uncertainty, situations are chaotic and ambiguous. So, for everyone who wants to really succeed, survive first, and succeed in the situations that we are in, especially those that are in business or leading other business professionals, you really need to be clear about your presence, where you are and where you're going. That clarity is important. If you miss that clarity, then there is trouble. A lot of people may call it having a vision or setting a goal from a vision, but you need to have somewhere that you're clear about that you're trading towards. Without it, there's going to be an issue.
True. Yeah. And I suppose one thing that we can add in, because both of us are in BNI, is that, as we get the journey, we move on a journey from where we are to where we want to be. We don't have to walk the
Absolutely.
journey alone, isn't it? Right? Especially, now in you use the word VUCA, or in turbulent times, you need a community around you, people that can support you,
Absolutely.
yeah, in terms of your life, your business, and that will make the journey so much easier, right? Yeah.
And
So
talking
do I
about
see any
community.
questions? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So I
Go
was
ahead,
saying,
Cam. Yeah.
talking about a community around you. Believe me, BNI has been so brilliant. Not only in my country, I know they are in the world. I know we are in the world, but what my people did for me was so amazing. They paid me a visit. They brought a lot of gifts. They ushered prayers, and they were so happy. And I didn't know I was that important to to the chapters. So that support system we also need it as leaders in our respective endeavors to stay upbeat.
Yep. Yep. Human beings, we are actually, as they say, we are community beings, or we are tribal beings. We work best when we are surrounded by the best people, right? Okay, so we are coming up to 35 minutes past. So this is coming towards the end of the show. For those of you who've put in some comments, thank you so much. I think we've got a few of our fan clubs in there, being very supportive. And I think maybe before I just share a few more things. How did the power of prayer come in? Because I think from looking at the comments in there, the power of prayer had an important part in the outcome, right? So I think you should speak into it. Yeah. Did I have Cam just froze? Okay. Yeah, Cam, can you just share with us the
Thank God.
power of prayer? Prayer, okay? How important was prayer into the whole outcome of this event? Yeah.
Well, if I tell you that I started praying when I ran into that problem, I must be telling you lies. I didn't remember to pray at that point.
Okay.
But I must tell you the truth. But I have a habit. Each time I'm leaving the house, each time I'm stepping out, whether it is stepping across the road to pick a loaf of bread or something, I kneel down and pray because you never can tell what
Yeah.
awaits out there. So I grew up with that, and my belief in prayer is unshakable. So I know it helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is YP Lai here, your this is your work less and more expert. And you know what? Actually, tomorrow is Friday, the 4th of March. I'm actually running a boot camp. Okay, I'm running a 2-day boot camp to help people work 20 hours less and become 10 times wealthier. And I know this is sort of like a last minute, but if you are able to attend, I want to invite you. Okay, and invite you to come and join us at the boot camp. There's a little fee involved. Okay, and remember to use the promo code VIP special, and you get £100 discount off this ticket. Okay, so I look forward to seeing as many of you who are listening into this, at tomorrow's 2-day boot camp. And this 2-day boot camp is going to be life changing. You're going to pick up skills that will help you and your future generations. And there is actually a money back guarantee. That's why I'm saying that, there's no risk for you. Come attend the 2 days. If you don't learn anything, I'm more than happy, to give you a refund. Okay, so that's your money back guarantee over there, right? So that's the first announcement. The second announcement is this. Okay, so I'm sure you enjoyed today's show. I can guarantee you. No, let me say that again carefully. This is the most dramatic. Okay, we've run what do you call that? How many? We've run 16. This is session number 16, and this is the most dramatic of them all. Okay. So next week we're gonna have another speaker. Next week is not gonna be as dramatic, but it's so useful. Okay. So next week we're gonna look at the questions: why should children learn programming? Okay, right. And this is with Dr. Christine. Okay, who is a lecturer. She is an expert programmer, and she helps children get ahead in life. Do you know that now in a new, I said new environment, people are talking about metaverses. People are talking about NFTs, and we've got young children already living in the world of the metaverse and the NFTs in a very positive way. So come next week and learn all about, why children should learn programming. Okay, right. So that's for next Thursday. So the Ask YP live show is on every Thursday. It's 7 p.m. Singapore time. So in uh, Western African time, it's going to be 12. And I think if it's EAT is what? EAT is 11. Is EAT 1 hour behind? Yeah. Okay. Right. And
So,
I'm not sure. Okay. So whatever time you listen to this, it's going to be on every Thursday, right? And you checked out either in Facebook or LinkedIn. The titles is coming up every week. Okay.
yeah,
And to say
yeah.
thank you, to every one of you who attend this show, please get a copy of my free, ebook. I've got a book written, 10 Proven Strategies to Work Less and More. And this book is actually available on Amazon. But I'm not asking you to buy. This is a link to get your free copy. So avail yourself to a free copy, whether you're listening to it live or you're listening to a recording of this. I want you to be able to work less and more so that you can spend more time with your family, chasing your passions, and having the resources to make the world a better place. Okay. So with this, I'm gonna, wish you. Let's wish everybody a good the rest of the day. And in my case, people in my part of the world is a good evening. Okay. So bye bye,
Right.
and Ken can just stay back.
Right.
We can have a little
Good
chat after this.
afternoon,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Good evening in YP's country. Thank you. Thank you so much, YP.